You're listening to the Actors Resource with Alice Kwan, a podcast for actors and improvisers with interviews from entertainment industry experts.
On this episode of the Actors Resource podcast, we have special guest Maria Fe Picar, who is an actress, choreographer, dancer, director, producer, and writer. She has been a dancer most of her life and fell in love with acting and directing through her work on the stage. Being cast in musical theater productions such as J. Cheese Almond Eyes, Evelyn Jean Pine's Wailing the Starry Path for the San Francisco Olympians Festival, and Good News and Legally Blonde for City College of San Francisco musical theater productions, this has inspired her to write and produce her own productions such as Dark Tales and Urban Stories through the Actors Studio in San Francisco. She has also produced and directed many short films and 2 features through her collaborative company, Asian Mainstream Productions, which she is the co-founder. Maria loves meeting people and connecting them through film, music, and art events, and wishes to continue working with positive and creative people. Welcome, Maria. Thank you so much for being on the Actors Resource podcast.
Thank you, Alice, for having me. This is quite an honor. I feel really special.
It's an honor to have you on. With your background and your extensive experience and knowledge, what are some of the things that you've noticed that can make an actor stand out at an audition so that it can help the director or producers remember them?
Okay, for one thing, I think it's really fun and really actually polite when the actors come and, shake everybody's hand. Like, hi, I'm David. I think people remember that. Mm-hmm. It's more of a personal touch.
And is it more for like the indie directors and producers? Because I've heard that, we shouldn't shake casting directors' hands.
Well, yeah, I think my experience comes a lot from theater. So I just felt like that would be a good way to introduce yourself. But also being really positive helps, I think, and just kind of being really upbeat when you're in an audition helps people remember you too. And when they ask you questions, kind of be bubbly about it. Be like, oh yeah, I know that. Or relate it to something that's can be relatable to you and to them, So I think that's how an actor can stand out.
Right. So having like a uplifting attitude.
Yes, that really does help.
Okay. Got it. Now, what about something like rejection? How did you handle rejection when you had to audition because you acted as well?
Well, I think rejection is really funny because people take it in different ways. Mm-hmm. Some people get really upset about it. Some people get kind of like, oh, okay, whatever,
Yeah.
I'm kind of like the whatever person. Sometimes you think that it's your skills. They don't pick you because it's your skills. But, there's probably lots of reasons why you didn't get the part. And you don't know that because as I've casted people for several projects too, and you may know this well, it kind of depends on, first of all, maybe a look that you're that the director might be interested in. Or it could be a certain personality that the director's looking for or producer. So a lot of people take it too personally when they're rejected. And it shouldn't be about that. It should be a learning experience, and it should be, okay, well, maybe I just wasn't right for the part. It doesn't mean that your skills were bad or, they weren't up to par. It just means that maybe that's not what they were looking for at the moment.
Right. Oh, that's great. A reminder to not take it like I suck. It's more like there's a whole bunch of stuff going on as well.
Yeah. And on the other hand, too, you may think you suck, like you just said, but then on the other hand, you might have done really well for a producer or director. I've had that happen to me where I think I've sucked and I'm like, oh God, that was awful. And then all of a sudden they give you a call back and said, hey, we want you to come in again, for another audition. And you're like, oh, really? So, it just kind of depends on, like I said, a lot of factors. And some of it could also depend on not only just the way you look or the way you sound. It could you might remind them of somebody that could be put in the film, or put in the project. Because sometimes, directors or producers can write parts just for you if they think, oh, wow, I could use that in that play or in that film or that, or that video. So I think that the way we take rejection, don't be discouraged. Think about it positively. And always just think that, maybe just wasn't meant to be for that moment, maybe somewhere down the line. Because sometimes they will remember you and they'll say, oh, yeah, I remember her from that audition. Maybe we can use her for something else. So, you never know, like, if they'll call you again for something else in the future.
Yeah, so don't take it like this is over. It's more like you never know. And then they might call you back later for something else.
Right. Because I think too many people get discouraged right away and think, oh, I don't know if I want to do this, because they don't know how to handle the rejection. But if you think of it in a positive light, and also, like I said, as a learning experience, because we're always learning as actors, as directors, as producers, or whatever, that, it'll be fine.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, you just got to keep plugging away. Like they say, your dreams don't happen overnight. They have to take time and sometimes years for it to come to fruition. But at the same time, that it also takes hard work and a lot of dedication, as you know. So,
And what helps keep you going? Like what inspires and motivates you so that you keep going with your artistic journey?
Yeah, well, watching other people's films, watching really great actors that I love, and then reading about their stories and reading about their hardships kind of helped me, like, oh, well, this person worked at a gas station or something for 10 years and then got discovered, or this person was a waitress all her life until I mean, you never know. Like I always say, life, things were meant always for reasons and not coincidental. So,
yeah.
If it's your turn, it's your turn. And, it keeps me going to see really great people, really good artists that never give up, that always have a positive attitude, that want to share their art with the world. That's the kind of person that I like to be associated with too.
Yeah.
And they say that if you surround yourself with those kind of people, then, good things happen.
Yeah.
If you don't, then I'm sorry, they don't happen.
So it's important to surround yourself with people who are positive and also have a purpose. Is that similar to what you're saying?
Yeah, I think it is great to surround yourself with people that think like you, that have the same type of motivation. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. Like I said, you have to be, because you motivate each other, in other words.
Yeah, you inspire and encourage each other to continue. Yeah, that's cool.
And those are always your best friends, too, the ones that are supportive and the ones that, know that you're on this path, this journey to do something creative, to do something positive and great. And, sharing the dream with them is sharing the dream with yourself as well. So,
yeah, and possibly making an impact on people.
Yeah, I always believe in connecting people, too, like connecting people that have the same skill set. Like I used to do an open mic and I would connect people that way. Like, oh, so you're a singer that you do like kind of this bluesy kind of stuff. I know somebody else who does that kind of stuff that's looking for somebody in a band, stuff like that. I just love to connect people and, and sometimes the connections work out really well. And sometimes they don't, but then sometimes they can have a contact at least or somebody to refer to that, might work out for them if they don't.
Would that be considered networking as well?
Oh, yeah, definitely networking. God, in this business, we have to network all the time. It's really amazing. Like I don't have a Rolodex anymore, but I have all these people that are musicians, that are like visual artists, like actors, like producers, directors. So yeah, you've always got to network. It's just the number one phase of the business. You have to. Otherwise, you don't meet people. You don't get your name out there. You don't get your work out there,
Yeah. Do you have a suggestion for somebody who wants to be in the industry, but what if they're shy? So they don't really feel comfortable or know how to network. Do you have a suggestion that could help them with networking?
Well, I think social media is a great way to network.
Yeah.
A lot of people have Facebook accounts and Twitter and whatever, Tumblr and Snapchat and all that. I think that's a good way to network if you're shy about talking to people one-on-one,
That's great. Yeah.
Because you can always like message them, or you can always send them an email later, or you can just like say, look at my page, like me, like friend me, and it's just easier that way because I've connected a lot of people through actually Facebook. So I feel like it's a good way to connect artists, because sometimes I've seen a lot of people, they're shy in public, but when you actually meet them and talk to them one-on-one, they're fine.
Yeah.
But then when they get on stage or when they get in front of a camera, they just turn into this other persona. Like, wow, I didn't know you were so great on camera, but you're really shy in public.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of actors like that, though.
There are.
A lot of the great, it just depends, because they're playing a character, so they can pretend to be somebody else, and it's fine, because they can get out of their skin for a little while and do something different and be someone different.
I love the idea for me when you say networking. My initial idea is, you go to some kind of a gathering and you're meeting all together in person. And I love that it's a new way of thinking of networking is through social media. That's great.
Yeah, it is great. Well, I think it's more convenient for a lot of people these days, because I know that events are great when you have film festivals or when you have screenings or when you have like other people's like auditions or something like that. But I think it's just more convenient these days for people to network by social media, because we're such a techie like society now that, people are busy, and to be an actor, to be whoever you want to be in this business, has to have some versatility, because you can't just be an actor anymore. To me, you have to be able to wear different hats and be good at other things as well. Not like in the past where you could just be an actor. That's fine.
It does seem like there's a lot of people doing like multiple jobs, like producing, directing, writing, acting, all of it, which is what you do.
Yeah, which is why it's good to diversify yourself. That's what I always say, because if you have several skills, you might be able to use one on set. Like if you're a choreographer, oh yeah, I can do that. I can't act, but I can choreograph for you. Or I'm a director, but I can also produce. I can also, do makeup or something like that. So it's good to have other skill sets under your belt. I even think this is true in life and not just in the business.
Regarding the business, having different hats, multiple skills, what else does it take to make it in the entertainment industry business today?
I believe it also takes a tough skin.
Yes.
There's so much that can beat you down. There's so much that can depress you.
Yeah.
If you're an actor and you work and then all of a sudden you're not working after, oh yeah, my season was canceled on such and such show, so now I'm not working. What do you do, right? I mean, if you don't have other alternatives, it can be very depressing and very frustrating. So you definitely have to have a tough skin and be able to roll with whatever happens, be more flexible with things that occur. So tough skin is my number one thing.
Yeah, so just don't take it personal and keep going. Maybe take a day to bawl and roll yourself into
Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe take a day and go, God, I really wanted that part.
Yeah.
But, it probably wasn't mine. So it probably wasn't meant to be. So I'll be depressed about it, but I'll bounce back and I'll go audition for something else.
Right.
Because you never know. You were probably auditioning for a small part in this film, but the next time you audition, it's for maybe a lead in something else. And the director likes you and bam, you got a part, so
yes,
you never know.
Yes. What was a wonderful experience that you've had with acting?
Best time I had on a production was when me and Alex, my husband, we saw a casting with Dan Bell Casting saying, we're looking for 49er fans for a documentary on the 49ers, diehard 49er fans. So we said, okay, we'll just put in our names and see what happens. You never know, right? So we put in our names. They asked us to come in for audition. They said, wear all your Niner gear, just to show that you're such a fan. Wear whatever you think you should wear as a Niner fan. We came decked out in like jerseys, hats, beads, dolls, little dolls, that we brought with us. And so they did a 2-minute interview with each. Why are you a 49er fan? Oh, I've been a 49er fan. For me, I said I've been a 49er fan way back with Joe Montana and Jerry Rice, Ronnie Lott. They said, okay, cool. And then they got Alex on camera. Oh, I was a 49er fan way back when they were playing at Kezar. That's how far back I am a 49er fan when I was a kid. And so then they go, okay. So then we didn't hear from them. They go, we'll call you if, we think you work with a documentary. So they called us like 2 weeks later. Oh, we want you to go to the game. There's a game with the 49ers and the Raiders. It's opening day. It's like opening day, like, the pregame show kind of thing. So they said, okay. So we went. Yeah, we don't want you wearing Niner gear this time because we don't have the rights to their logo. So if we show that on camera, we can't do that. So don't wear any Niner gear. We'll put you in stuff when you get there. So we get there and they paid for our game. They gave us money for snacks. They paid for our parking.
Nice.
Yeah, we had all that for free. Plus they were going to pay us $500 each for being, there for the documentary.
Woo, nice.
Yeah. Wow, nice. So they said, okay, so we're going to do your segment after halftime. So, okay, so just come meet us over here. They pointed to a space and then we'll get you ready and then you can go down and we'll do your segment. And I said, okay. So all of a sudden it's time for us to go. We go down there. They're doing our makeup. They're changing some of our clothes around. And then they go, okay, when you're ready, go sit down there. They pointed to an Xfinity red couch. Wait a minute. This isn't no farting documentary. This is a commercial. And me and Alex just looked at each other like, what? Like, okay, just sit there on the couch and just talk to each other, pretending you're having a good time, pretending you're enjoying the game, which we were because we were right on the field goal.
Yeah.
And so we were sitting there talking, oh, this is so cool. And yeah. But they were recording us the whole time we were talking.
Whoa.
So they told us, go, have a good time, cheer, and do all the stuff you do. It was a commercial. It wasn't a documentary.
Woo!
So when we found out, the guys that hired us were sitting in back of us and saying, hey, you guys, how you doing? We're like, oh, hi. And I go, this isn't a documentary. They go, no, it's a commercial. And I went, oh, holy shit. I'm sorry. Sitting there and we were just having a good time. And then the guys that were supposed to come down after us, because there was like 8 other people that got hired to do the same thing. But everyone got a turn, in a quarter. Like, okay, we'll use you at this quarter, you at this quarter, you at this quarter. So we were sitting there and the guys didn't come down for their quarter. So we got to sit there and watch the whole game, the rest of the game.
Nice.
Which was fantastic. And we had such a good time. And we were like, oh my God, we just did a commercial. Yeah, it was great. And I still have the picture of us sitting on the Xfinity couch in my room. So
nice.
We got pictures. But the best part about it was 2 weeks later, they called Alex's phone and they said, Alex goes, can you talk to these people? I don't know what they're asking. And I went, what do you mean? He goes, they're the people from the commercial. They're telling us if they use us in the commercial, we need to fill out this release form. And if they use us, they're going to pay us $2,000 each. And I went, what? And he goes, yeah. He goes, talk to them. So I talked to them and she wanted our address and blah, blah, blah. And have to sign this waiver. And, this is what it's going to be.
Yeah.
It was a buyout, basically.
Yeah.
So I went, okay, we'll send this back and see what happens. I said, and I told Alex, they're not going to pay you unless they're going to use you. So they're probably going to use us because why would they use this, right? So we get a check,
woo!
And, for $2,000 each, less taxes.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, we're on TV during the commercials, during halftime, everything.
Oh my God.
That commercial ran for 3 years, every time it was football season.
Oh my God, that's so cool.
Yeah, so I said, oh my God, we took a buyout too. Shit. I'm sorry.
You're like, damn it, why did we take a buyout?
I know. So that was one of the best things that ever happened to me.
That is awesome.
And you know what they did? They actually did 3 different commercials with it using the footage. So it wasn't the same commercial every time, but it was a variation of that commercial. And we were in it in every single one of them. So it was fun. We're just standing there cheering or something. That's the easiest $2,000. No, $25 I made.
Right.
But that was the best time.
That is awesome. I want to ask you about Asian mainstream and your role in that and how that came to be. You're a co-founder of that production company?
Well, see, Asian Mainstream is actually a collaborative. It was started out as a collaborative company where we would gather filmmakers, actors, or producers, or directors, or camera people, DPs, anybody that wanted to be in the business. But our focus was mainly on people of Asian descent because we wanted to bring more Asians in the mainstream. Because when I co-founded this with my friend, Kim Bowman, about 11 years ago, there was not a lot of Asians in television or film or commercials. And we said, wow, we got to change that. There's a lot of talented Asian people. And, maybe it's because they don't like the way we look. I don't know. But we have to change that because there's a lot of other ethnicities on screen and we're kind of like the least represented. So I think when we started it, we wanted to bring that to the forefront. We started out as a collaborative, but we're now turning more into a production kind of / company where we want to expand because we're primarily in the San Francisco Bay Area. But now we want to expand like out here because since I'm in Portland now, I want to start a chapter up here possibly.
Nice.
Yeah, so we're doing that. And then we're working on more like films that we want to put into distribution. With that said, I'm going to be collaborating or working with several people. One is Gabe Cora of Canon Films. He's going to be doing a boxing film and he's going to be doing a wrestling film. Plus, he has the rights to the ghost ship story. You know, the ghost ship story? The one in Oakland where the fire burned and all those people died because it was an artist space. And he has the rights to do the ghost ship.
Oh my God.
So Gabe, he's actually doing stuff for the Discovery Channel too, where he's going to be developing his own like detective series.
Is he a production company as well?
Yes, he's a production company, editor / director of photography. He has funds to do things like this and maybe even to do it into distribution. So the Ghost Ship is one of the big projects that he'll probably be working on in the next year or two. So we might be looking at a pretty big deal with them soon. So
wow, that's cool.
And then with Carl Arana and his partner Linda Brisky, they are Labor Media Management. They're going to be partnering with Gabe as well. So
and what do?
They do a lot of events. Like they produced this big event in Denver, in Brighton, Colorado, which is a big music event. It was with old school musicians like Malo and El Chicano and Denise Williams and Rose Royce. So they do big productions like that. So they're big event planners in the music business as well.
Nice. What else will you be collaborating on or working on in the future?
So another thing that we're definitely going to be working on is the Grand IndieWise Convention and Film Festival in Las Vegas in 2019.
Cool.
September or October. We haven't set a date yet because we're still looking for a venue. But a good friend of mine, Jared Knowles, he is the founder of Widescreen Festival and Grand IndieWise Convention Film Festival in Miami.
Nice.
He's decided to move this festival over to Las Vegas so he can gather more people together because he's also a person who likes to connect people and network with different people. But this is primarily for filmmakers because it gives filmmakers a chance to meet other filmmakers from all over the world because he has this whole this conglomerate of filmmakers now from his festivals that like to come back and show their films or like to come back and re-promote their films. So this is a good venue if you're a filmmaker to come to. It's going to be 6 days in Las Vegas next September or October. And I definitely will be sending out things via Facebook or email blasting people that are filmmakers or have anything to do with film because this will be the place to be, I'll tell you. He's trying to get some big names in there to do workshops. Not only does he do the film festival and the film festival screenings, he does a red carpet event, a blue carpet event. Nice. He also does workshops. He has pitch sessions set up for people that want distribution for their films. He has all this going on, and he'll probably have some kind of pool party, some kind of game night. That's what he's planning for this big convention because he wants to attract over 2,000 people and make this like the premier film festival of the ages.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, but see, the thing is with him is he knows that when you submit your film to film festivals, first of all, sometimes they don't let you in because they have enough films that are sort of like yours or similar to yours. So it's not that your film isn't good. It's because they probably already have too many films that are similar to yours. The second thing is sometimes you have to know someone to get your film in because it's kind of like who you know or what you know in this business. I hate to say it, but it's very true. A lot of filmmakers don't get their films screened just because of those two reasons. And he says it's a big percentage of people that don't get their films screened and then they get disappointed and they don't enter other film festivals. But he wants to make this the place where people can actually have their films shown, network with other people, and possibly collaborate in the future. So this is his big dream, is to make this happen all next year. And Asian Mainstream is going to have a big presence because we're actually going to be working with Jared, planning this event, doing donor sponsorships, doing grants, helping him find the venue, helping him, with all aspects of this event.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's exciting because he's going from having over maybe 300 or 400 people to hopefully 2,000 people attend this event. And for filmmakers all around the world, not just from the United States. Because in his previous film festivals, he had people from India, people from China, people from Japan, people from Europe. So they already know of his film festivals. The fact that he's having it in Vegas makes it even more attractive.
Oh my God, I love it. That is so cool. And do we just follow Asian Mainstream to find out more about that as that comes up next year?
Okay. You can follow Asian Mainstream on the Facebook page. We'll probably post something on that. Jared will also be posting on his Widescreen Festival networks or his Facebook page or his Grand Indie Wise Convention Facebook page. Last year he had Luis Guzman, who's an actor.
Yes.
He's on Blue Blood, I think, or Bad Blood, or
I'm not sure, but I can see his face and I've seen his work. So that's so cool. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, he was there as a guest speaker.
Wow.
And then we met him, and we also met Kalela Ali, Muhammad Ali's first wife. So she was there as well. And she's a very positive speaker and somebody who loves films.
Nice.
She's there as well. Hopefully she'll come back because she probably has a lot of connections from when Muhammad used to fight in Vegas. So she's a really lovely person, real sweet to talk to. Hopefully she works and comes back again. But that's what Asian Mainstream is planning for next year as well. And we hope to get everybody who's involved in film in the Bay Area and beyond into this convention.
How much is something like that going to cost?
It's a 6-day event. So it depends on, how you want to participate. If you want the hotel and you want transportation and you want to have your film screened, that's one price maybe. And then another price is if you want a pitch session with directors and you also want the hotel and transportation and screening, that's another price. So he has levels of how you want to participate.
Okay.
So it depends. Yeah, you should come. It's just fun.
Oh my God, that sounds so cool.
I went to the last two, so it was so much fun.
And you get to watch a lot of films too.
Yeah, you get to watch a lot of films, and you also get to meet the people who made them, which is kind of cool because I met a girl from Temecula, California. She's called Kat Miggs, and she produces all these films with a positive message for teenage girls.
Oh,
so
that's so cool.
She's a great person to know. And then I met this guy from Atlanta, Eric Ayala. He is producing a feature film right now that's been getting rave reviews all over the country in film festivals that he's put it in. So it's just fun to meet people.
Yeah.
You should come. I'll let you know.
Okay. Yeah, let me know. Let me know when that happens. Now, you're also writing screenplays too. What's your screenplays about?
Okay, so the first one is a short film. It's about 10, 15 minutes long, and it's about autism and kids with autism that act out in public. Because there's a lot of times when kids with autism will have tantrums.
Sure.
And one of the things that I noticed about parents is that they get really embarrassed and they don't know how to handle people like looking at them and staring at them and making comments like, why can't they take care of their kid? What's wrong with the parents? But it's really not always the parents' fault. They try everything. It's a kid with autism can just freak out over whatever.
Yeah.
That's what my first film is about because my grandson is autistic. And we've had this happen many a times where we're out in public and he's had a meltdown. And this lady and her husband actually commented in front of my son-in-law saying, oh my God, they can't take care of their kids. What's wrong with parents these days? And blah, blah, blah. They were a young couple, maybe in their 20s or something like that. My son-in-law got so pissed off, he followed them. And then they turned around and they saw that he was behind them. And he said, so what kind of comments do you want to say now?
Ooh.
And
Ooh.
It gets him so angry when people do that. And I said, I need to do something public about this. So I decided to make a small short film on it because
Yeah.
it's a problem. And there's more kids being autistic these days. I think they're saying 1 out of 5 children are diagnosed with autism.
Oh my God,
So,
I love it. That's so good.
yeah. But listen to this. It's told from his sister's point of view,
Uh-huh.
not an adult's point of view. It's told from a child's perspective because his older sister is 9
Mm-hmm.
and she definitely helps out a lot, at home with him and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be told from her perspective of what happens when, she sees these things in public and the way people act and stuff like that.
I love it. I love it. That's so cool.
Yeah. That's the first one I'm working on.
Nice. What's the other one?
Okay, the second one I'm working on is Carl Arana has this friend named Don Graves, who is this fantastic social worker / kid person. I mean, he's an advocate for kids, and he developed this place called International Life Skills. He developed it because he was a troubled teen. He grew up in gangs, younger, and he actually got a football scholarship to the University of Montana and actually got a decent education out of there. And so he became this advocate for children and advocate for adults and teens that have troubles or have been incarcerated or, they have parents that are incarcerated, that kind of thing. So I'm writing his life story.
Wow. That's awesome.
So he's got such a colorful life. He even actually met Hillary Clinton with some kids and went to the White House. So that's going to be like the end of the movie. But the beginning of the movie is he's a very religious person and also has this deep belief in God. And he actually heard a voice when he was a kid on the playground just calling his name. That's how the movie starts, and it ends with his meeting Hillary Clinton. But all the way through, he had friends that got stabbed, that got shot. His brother even got stabbed when they were in gang. Yeah, he's got a very colorful life, but a completely 360 turnaround, becoming a counselor, becoming, social worker, and becoming the advocate for children and developing this place in Contra Costa County. That's what the second one's about.
Is that a short as well?
No, that's going to be a feature.
Okay. Oh my God, that's so great. Are you able to talk about the screenplay that you and DJ are working on?
Yeah, I'm able to talk about it. It's actually going to be called Bullshito. I have a Facebook page on it.
Ooh.
It's about bad martial artists. It's a comedy. Gabe Cora says, I want to do this film called Bullshito. You guys do comedy? I said, yeah, we've done comedy. So we're writing this script about Bullshito, bad martial arts. And it's really funny because it's going to be about these 3 friends. Mm-hmm. One of them is called David, and he wants to be an actor or / action hero.
Sure.
And his second friend, Lauren, she's kind of like the writer, serious type. And then his third friend, Kevin, remember Henry Lee from All the Wrong Moves?
I do remember Henry. Oh my God. It's like a reunion.
Yeah, he's got kind of that personality, that kind of dry sense of humor. But they all have something in common. They love martial arts movies. So, anything Jet Li, Jackie Chan, Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
They're all for it. They all go and watch, action movies together. And then they talk about it because they're in this class, this Asian American class at school. And the teacher talks about these martial artists that are really good. And then there's these bad martial artists. And so they're like all for the good ones. And David's really gung-ho about being an action hero star, particularly in a kung fu or whatever movie. So that's what it's pretty much about.
Oh my God, that sounds hilarious.
They run into this guy named Brody Wilson, who's this big action hero star. He's sort of like a Chuck Norris, Steven Seagal knockoff. Combined. He thinks he's like the king of all martial arts films, and he's really awful. He doesn't know any martial arts. So that's the premise of the movie.
Oh my God, that sounds great.
Yeah, it's going to be hilarious. It's a feature as well. Plus, we're going to reshoot All the Wrong Moves too.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're busy.
Yeah, in pre-production.
And how can people find out more about you or Asian Mainstream?
Well, first of all, social media. We have a page called Asian Mainstream Production.
Nice.
And then we have a website, www.asianmainstream.com. So that has a lot of our older projects on it, and we need to probably update the website. But I feel like social media is probably the best way to contact us through Facebook.
Through Facebook. Awesome.
And Bullshit, the movie is on there too, it has its own separate page. I posted something about auditions up and coming, but
Nice.
we're still on a script. As soon as we have a script done, we'll do a table read and then we'll start auditioning.
Cool.
Yeah.
Our time is up, and I just want to say thank you so much, Maria, for being my guest here. You've been wonderful.
Thank you, Alice. It's just been a pleasure to be a part of this.